Hello viewers, this is another beautiful episode of Football Unfiltered, and here in the studio we have our analysts Blaze and Emmanuel. Welcome to the studio, guys.
Welcome, thank you, Bube.
I always look forward to coming here to talk the most interesting and the most enjoyed sports in the whole world. Number one in the whole world.
Welcome.
Like Emma said, it's beautiful to be here again to discuss this round leather game that we so much enjoy.
Okay, so today we are already entering the week 9 of the EPL games, and we'll be looking at the weekend preview. So we'll be starting with Aston Villa versus Bournemouth. Please, your take on this.
Aston Villa, Bournemouth. We saw the game against Arsenal the last game. Bournemouth played against Arsenal. And before the game against Arsenal, we also saw what they did when they played against Chelsea. So to me, Bournemouth is a team to watch. Even though at the moment, I will continue to say it, that Aston Villa, they are on the form of their life. They are you can call them a top team at the moment. They have good players in every area of the pitch, from the goalkeeper to their strikers. They have good players. For Bournemouth on the other side, like I was trying to say, their performance even from last season has been exceptional. They've been doing something. They have been going in the right direction. For me, they have a good coach. They have the right playing style. Bournemouth is one of those teams that they don't go into a match with the mindset that they are losing this game. They are going for every game. They're going into that game with the mindset that they can get 3 points out of that game. So it doesn't matter if they're playing Man City or if they're playing an Everton team. They are coming all out, and we saw it with the way they played against Arsenal, with the way they played against Chelsea. I know Chelsea eventually won that game, but it took Chelsea. It wasn't an easy win. It was just that the thing is that Chelsea had what I call the squad depth. It took Maresca to make that tactical change, bringing in Ukuku, and the goal set came out of nothing. So I watched them again against Arsenal, and I saw it's true that there was a red card, but even before that red card, they were going toe to toe with Arsenal. Even though Arsenal played well, I'm not saying before the red card, but these guys they came out to they didn't. It wasn't a matter of Arsenal is a bigger team. They came out to play Arsenal. So I think this game is going to be a tough match. It's going to be a very balanced match. Even though that I think Aston Villa, with the way they have played this season, I think they might come out of that game in the winning position. So I'll go with an Aston Villa win or a draw.
Okay, so what do you think about this game, Emmanuel?
Well, I would disagree with Blaze here, but I will also want to agree with some of his points raised concerning the pattern of play Aston Villa and Bournemouth play, because the game between Aston Villa and Bournemouth with Arsenal last weekend, Bournemouth actually played very well that day. Yeah, they didn't play as though they are playing with a big team.
Yeah,
they played as though they are playing with their level mates, and even without the red card. In fact, the red card even came as a result of an attack against Arsenal. So Saliba had to just try to play the hero game, and so that goal would have entered. That's Saliba bringing him down. But then look at Aston Villa. Aston Villa won Real Madrid in the Champions League. Aston Villa won Bologna just yesterday in the Champions League. I think at away, not even at home. Sorry, at home.
But Bayern,
they won Bayern Munich. Yeah. So yeah.
3-3 win in the Champions League. Yeah.
So now let's look at Aston Villa, for instance. Aston Villa won Bayern Munich at the Champions League and also won Bologna yesterday. 2 straight winnings. Bournemouth, on the other hand, are just lucky, just to win Arsenal. They lost their last game. And I think the previous game before that game, I think it was Chelsea, and they also lost. But looking at the pattern of play between Aston Villa and Bournemouth, I would say Aston Villa has the upper hand here. So to defeat Bournemouth, and they are playing at home. So I don't.
You say you disagree with me, but you said exactly what I said.
No,
I said that it's not going to be a very easy match.
But you said.
But I said either Aston Villa win or a draw.
It cannot be a draw. It cannot be a draw.
Your saying is just a
win for Aston Villa. Yeah, it's going to be a win for Aston Villa.
One thing with Bournemouth is that I've been watching this team.
Okay.
They're not a team that I think you can just walk over. It doesn't matter. See, The league is the league. The Champions League is the Champions League. I know that Aston Villa has done so well. They're yet to lose in the Champions League this season.
Yeah.
But this is the league. This is the Premier League we are talking about. And it doesn't matter what you do in the Champions League. You can come to the Premier League and one team like that surprises you. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And I think that Bournemouth is the kind of team that can give you that offset. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So it doesn't matter if I know you know that I praise Aston Villa so well in the studio. So I think that Aston Villa has what it takes to win that game. The only thing I'm adding is that let's not be surprised if there is any offset, because Bournemouth is a team to beat. They're just like Brighton. Brighton is not in the Champions League. They're not in the Europa League. But when you come to the Premier League, Brighton is a team that to beat. I don't know if you get the position I'm coming from. So that's what I'm trying to say.
I think even during our last preview, we wrote Bournemouth off
against Arsenal.
So I think there are possibilities that they might win Aston Villa, and just like you said, Aston Villa Mount, they might.
Let's see.
Let's see. I'm still going to stick to my
Aston Villa.
Aston Villa will win that game.
All right. So let's look at the next game of the week, which is going to be between Brentford and Ipswich Town. So I'll be starting with you, Emmanuel. What's your take? What do you think will happen in this game?
Ipswich Town, actually, I felt disappointed last weekend. You know, Ipswich Town, they lost that game at home to an Everton that is struggling. You know, an Everton that is not even in form. You know, we've always stood with among all the teams that came back from relegation.
Yes,
we've always iron place. We've always
believed in
just like we having double fanship.
Yes.
I'm supporting Arsenal and Ipswich, supporting Chelsea and Ipswich. But surprisingly, they disappointed us last weekend. They could not even get a goal from an Everton that is struggling to have their footing. So I think, let me say, I think Ipswich have come to Premier League. Now this is very thank you.
So it's one thing to come from the Champions League. It's another thing to play.
All this why when in university, when you get admission in university, they do your matric and all, you just be happy.
Yeah.
When you not jump, they'll tell you welcome to the university. So for Ipswich Town, welcome to Premier League.
Yeah.
They will be collecting now. And unfortunately, they are playing Brentford that scored first against Man U last weekend. So honestly, I picked him out Ipswich now. Honestly, it's only maybe a miracle that will help them, but definitely Brentford will win them. It's going to be a win for Brentford because the game against Man U, you see that Brentford actually played like they fought in that game. They fought very well in that game. Man U was just lucky the second half changes and then the creativity among the players, more experienced players. That's how Man U won that game. But when it comes to Ipswich, I would see them as an inexperienced team. Brentford will definitely win the game.
Okay, what do you think?
I think I agree solely with Emma that for this game is the kind of game that you say that Brentford should win, even though, like he said, I'm a big supporter of Ipswich Town. I think that they have a good coach. I think they have talented players. They have a striker that has already up to 3 goals.
3 goals now currently.
So they have a talented squad. I think that if they continue with the way they are going, they're going in the right direction. They still have 1 or 2 to add to that squad for them to become a Premier League team. Just like he said, also, it's one thing to play in the Championship. It's another thing to come to the Premier League and replicate what you are doing in the Champions League. But in the Premier League, you're playing big boys. Every team are giving their best. So Brentford, they've been, since they came from the Championship, it's like the 4th or 3rd year from the Champions League and Championship, and they have been since they came back. They have been a team to beat. Even in their first season that they came from the Championship, whenever you go to their home or they're playing you, even if you win them, you know that you have played. You have played a team. So them against Ipswich Town, even though I know that Ipswich Town might have a fighting chance, but I think at the end of the day, Brentford is a team that should win this. Before their Man U game, before this Man U game that they lost, if you watch their games, they've been winning. They've been winning. They've been winning and drawing and all that. But they've started well in the Premier League this season. So I think, like Emma has said, I will go with the Brentford win. And let me just say that the best result Ipswich Town can get from that game is a draw.
Okay, let's quickly look at the next game that will be played within the week, which is going to be between Brighton and Wolves. Blaze. What are your expectations?
Wolves have been very unlucky this season.
Yeah,
So
very,
because
very.
I watch every Chelsea game, I think one of the games that I watched, the first game of the season against Chelsea was against Wolves, and I watched that first half, and I was thinking that no matter what happens in the second half, that this team is a team to play in the Premier League. It was surprising that after that game, after that embarrassing defeat in the second half, subsequently Wolves, it was as if that Chelsea disorganized that team. So because I watched them in the first half and they were going toe to toe with Chelsea. Chelsea will score. I think they scored first. Chelsea scored like that for that first half. Then in the second half, we saw what happened with Palmer giving that, scoring those goals and all that. So subsequently in other matches, it was surprising to me. These guys will play and play and play and play and play, and at the end of the day, they will lose. The same thing happened against Man City. We saw when that goal came in 90 plus was when that goal came in. They scored first. Wolves scored Man City first, and Man City had to equalize.
Yeah.
And the second goal was even a controversial goal. So for me, the Wolves team has been very, very unlucky this season. You know, one thing about football is that I say it all the time, there's a factor of luck in football. Because even if you watch that Chelsea game against Liverpool, Chelsea were the better side, but Liverpool scored the goals. So I won the game. Do you get that? So I think for Wolves, they've not played terrible football. I've tried to watch more than one of their games. They've not played terrible football, but the thing is that when it comes to luck,
scoring goals,
scoring, if you check all their matches, they've been scoring. Funny enough.
But the scoring
to get that 3 points,
the scoring I mean is to actually either defend the goal,
yes,
or to actually win the game.
Yeah. To get that 3 points has been quite difficult for them. I felt so bad for them, especially against the Man City. They worked really hard. Imagine working really hard for 90 minutes and 90 plus, you lose that kind of crucial point. So against Brighton has somehow been very consistent. I think the only team that has gotten the best of Brighton this season is Chelsea. Every other team, they have gotten something from their match.
Yeah.
They played against a Manchester United top 6 when you call the top 6 club in the Premier League, you call Manchester United. Their last game against Newcastle, they also won
from away.
So they, like I said earlier when I was pointing that out, Bournemouth, they are a team to beat. They're a team to beat in the Premier League. So looking at this game, I think it's a game that I can just sit down and say Brighton should win. But I think Wolves will try to put in a fight so that they will at least get a point, and not even a goal now. I think they will want to get a point from this game because looking at so far, I don't think they've gotten anything substantial from the games they have played. So for me, I'll go with a draw game.
Okay. Your take.
I will agree with him I'll agree with him against the point of playing a draw. Yeah, I agree with him in terms of Wolves playing better football, scoring goals. But I always say that Brighton is lucky this season because they have I think they among all the teams that have good wingers. I think you can count Brighton, you can count Man City, you can count Aston Villa. One thing I learned about coaches is that they try to look for good wingers. The reason is because you can easily create a goal through the wing. Midfield is always difficult now because you can get midfielders anywhere. You can go to La Liga, you can go to Italy, but you see wingers, it's difficult for you to get a winger someone like Vinicius, someone like Mbappe. So for Brighton, they are lucky to get good wingers, this season. And I think that's where they came in last week against Newcastle. They got that goal from the wing, and they defended that goal until the 90th minute. Surprisingly, Newcastle could not score even at home. To tell you that, Brighton are actually in the Premier League now to stay.
Yeah.
So for a Wolves that is struggling, just like you said, that is struggling to defend the goal or either win, I don't think they can withstand the Brighton. They may get a goal because for you to score a team like Man City,
that means you know how to
score. So definitely they may score Brighton, but Brighton will win that game. So I'm going to give it both teams to score, but Brighton to win.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let's quickly look at the next game that we play within the weekend. That we play in the weekend, which is going to be between Manchester City and Southampton. Emmanuel.
That somebody just gotta write that 3 points. They should just write the 3 points because I think there's no need Southampton. There's no need they go to Man City's home.
Yeah, they should better go back. They should better go back to where they came from, because I don't understand. How can you be winning 2-0 against the Leicester City, you know, and second half you not only lose the game, you lost the game with enough pressure.
Yeah.
Like from the second half of that game, Leicester City was putting pressure in the statistics, in the shot on target, everything. So meaning that you just came to the second half and you were just relaxed, forgetting that this is Premier League. Even when you're winning 3-0, you're not still sure until when you hear that 90 minutes, that's full-time whistle. So for certain thing, I'm sorry, Man City have seen a team that they can easily, you know, get those goals. Like I always said, Haaland want to use the opportunity and Haaland somebody there. So forget it. Let's go to the next game. Man City is going to win with at least 3 goals in that one.
I believe this is what you have to say.
Of course, there's nothing Southampton can do.
Nothing.
I always recall when Southampton really annoyed me was their first game of the season. So anytime I remember that first game of the season, I just
red card against Newcastle.
It's not the fact that they lost that annoyed me. It's the fact that they were losing with so, like you just said, so much pressure. Like it's Newcastle they gave red card though, and Newcastle were playing as if they were 12. Do you get? So I don't think that's. I think like the way they came to the Premier League is the way they are going back to the Championship. So I, even though Man City is sick at the moment, but we are not seeing their sickness in the Champions League. There is 5-0 that they played.
Honestly, yesterday. I think they have maximum points already. Yeah.
I said Man City hammered these guys 5-0. So I don't think there's anything, like you said, I think it's the kind of game that, you know, Haaland in the Premier League, he scored in the Champions League. Yeah. But in the Premier League, even though he has 10 goals already, but in the Premier League, I think in the last 2 to 3 games, he has not scored. So looking at the Southampton that he can bully, is an opportunity for him to make his goal 11 or 12 or even 13. So let's see. I think it's a game that Man City, I've already added that +3 for them.
Okay, so let's quickly look at the next game that will be played, which is going to be between Everton and Fulham. Please, what's the expectation?
I think it's going to be a mid-table clash. Yeah, so even though Everton won their mid-table clash, there are 2 mid teams. Even though for me, the better side is Fulham. Do you get? I know that Everton won their last match.
Against
Ipswich, they played against Ipswich. And Fulham, on the other hand, they won Fulham.
Yeah,
Fulham lost. Yes, Everton won, Fulham lost. So, but I think Fulham is still the better team. I've watched them this season and they have the better playing side. They have the better players. Everton's coach is this kind of coach that is defensive mindset. This other kind of coach, the other side, the Fulham is a coach that wants to play football. So like Brighton, like Bournemouth, that those kind of small teams that they don't want to defend, they want to come out and play. So I think this is the kind of match that Fulham should be getting the 3 points. I don't think Everton will do anything much in that game. So I think they will try to sit back. At the end of the day, Fulham will score. But let me see if Emma has any other idea.
Okay, do you have anything to add to what he has said?
I'm seeing this game as a draw. My reason is because, you know, when you win a game from away and you're coming to play home, there's this confidence you get. Yeah, if you can do it away, why not do it at home? So I think it's going to be difficult because for Fulham, they lost at home against an Aston Villa. And you're going away to play against a team that won at away. So are you seeing this? So you know, that ginger, that morale.
That you're coming from a win.
So even if Fulham will score, Everton will want to get a point from that game. So I'm going to say that game as a 1-1 draw. At worst, a barren draw. But it's not going to be easy for Everton. Sorry, for Fulham, because Fulham, to an extent, they are not really stable. But Everton somehow, even though they have not been lucky, but if they meet a smaller team, like they did last week, they win.
They will show you that they can win.
Even if you meet a smaller team, it's difficult for them. Yeah, come and win, the problem for them. So it's going to be a draw for me.
Okay, let's quickly look at the next game of the weekend, which is going to be between Chelsea and Newcastle. I'll be starting with you. Let me start with him. So Emmanuel, please. what's the expectation?
Blaze is just lucky today that I'm wearing a Chelsea.
You're very blue.
So I don't know. Maybe just a coincidence. But I think he's fortunate today. I'm going to support Chelsea today because Newcastle. Forget it.
I think you're sick at the moment.
I'm telling you.
I think you're sick.
You know, I said I will not want to be biased. I'm going to support Chelsea because of I'm wearing their clothes. And then secondly, for the fact that
I don't think that because you supported Chelsea that I will support Arsenal. Continue. I'm not returning it.
Anyway, and the team they are playing, I would say they are one of the most disappointing teams so far.
I think they're sick at the moment.
Yeah, honestly, because I don't understand how you build your team around the player. It's wrong. It's wrong. I think a lot of teams are beginning to learn from that mistake. You don't build a team around the player because the player can get an injury or get a transfer opportunity, and you lose your. So Alexander Isak has not been around for Newcastle, and it has affected them badly.
They don't have any
imagine
losing,
losing your game against a Brighton
at home,
and you could not even get a draw. Even at the first half, you lost the game. Second half, you could not even manage to get a draw. And then you're coming to play a Chelsea that has been in form. Chelsea played very well against Liverpool, even though we expected that Liverpool was going to win. But then the margin was there, and currently they are winning against Panathinaikos in Greece, 1-0 or thereabout. So I think Chelsea here we should use the opportunity and get a 3 points from that game, comfortably 3 points. So they should win that game comfortably, at least with a 2 goal.
So my Chelsea fan.
It's good that Emma is in his best behavior today. Saying the obvious truth for once. So the truth is that before now, this is a kind of game that I will not be very comfortable for a Chelsea win.
Yeah,
so, because Newcastle is a team to beat.
Yeah, they played last season.
Yes, they played very well last
season.
So the team that whenever you want to play them, you say, okay, they're going to play a team that is serious. But at the moment, I don't think they've really started well this season.
At all.
Their last game was like a message. It was embarrassing for them to lose at home to a Brighton. This is a Brighton that I won comfortably. Even though I know that Brighton is also a team to beat. But I want these guys comfortably. If you watch the game, not just about the game. Every side of the game, Chelsea really won this team. So going into this game, I think it's a game that Chelsea will comfortably win. Looking at the fact, like Emma pointed out, that it's as if Newcastle don't have any goal threats any longer since Alexander Isak. He's the one that last season got up to, that was 17 goals last season.
Yeah, I think it was either second or third.
Yes, just after Haaland, you see Palmer, then you see Isak. So since his injury, it's as if that goal threat, it's as if Gordon has not been able to fill in that shoe. So I think it's a game that Chelsea should win. Looking at the fact that if you look at the table, Brighton has 15 points, Chelsea has 14 points. So you don't want to lose that game. You want to win that game and get a point to come up. Do you get? So you Chelsea at the moment is a team that is looking for that top 4 points, top 4 spot.
Yeah.
So if you're a team that is looking for that top 4 point, any match you can get your 3 points, better get that 3 points. So to me, I'm going into that game comfortably that we should win that game here.
All right, thank you. So viewers, if you're yet to subscribe to our channel, kindly click on the like button and the subscribe button below. Thank you. Also, don't forget to click on the notification button for more interesting episodes and programs that will be coming through this channel. Thank you. So let's quickly look at the next game that will be played within the weekend, and it's going to be between Crystal Palace and Spurs. Please, what are you expecting from this game?
Palace surprisingly have not really started the Premier League well this season at all. Looking at the way they ended the Premier League, the Premier League, the ending of the Premier League last season saw Palace look like that they have gotten this kind of form, and they were one of the teams that we were thinking that in this new season they will really play. Yes, so it's like it's like since they lost Olise, they've not really gotten somebody to fill. They got a good player as Sarr, but that Sarr has not been able to do anything since he came. And just like the way the Son and the Kane of Spurs.
Spurs, yeah.
The newly Palmer and the Jackson of Chelsea. You know, when two players have known how to play together, it's very difficult that when one player goes, unless the other player is very exceptional, that's when he continues with his good form. But since Olise left that Palace team, it's as if Eberechi forgot how to play football. I watched him against Manchester United. I'm like, is this the Eberechi Eze? Do you get? I watched his last match. Crystal Palace played. What was the last game against Forest? And
they lost.
And they lost. They lost against Palace. And in every Palace game before this season, if you don't see Eze playing well, you see Olise playing well. So it's just as if that since Olise left, we started looking for Eze. So I think that going into this game, Spurs did not just win; they won heavily. The last game,
one
goal down against a West Ham team. So I think going into this game is a game that Spurs may win, because I've not seen anything exceptional that Crystal Palace has done this season. They've not done anything that you can point out and say they want to offset or do anything in this game, even though that they are going to be playing at home. I think it's a kind of game that, even though that Spurs is not a team that anytime I analyze Spurs, I don't like putting all my hopes in that team, because they're a team that can play so well today, and in their next game you'll be like, what's happening? So, but I think it's a game that Spurs should win. But let's hear what Emma has to say.
I'm confident that Spurs will win that game. My reason is because Son is back. The game against West Ham last weekend, the commentator said, "Wow, what a way to come back." He came back with a hat trick against West Ham. He showed that he has a vision, or he has a target. And then, for example, that was even struggling to win Nottingham Forest. No, I don't expect them to
win Spurs.
He scored 2 goals now. Okay, sorry. No, someone scored 2 goals now. He almost get a hat trick. He missed one-on-one.
They talk.
Okay. So
brace.
Yeah. So for a son that came back last week and scored a brace, and it shows that he actually has a target, or he has a vision. Maybe he's coming to actually see how he can fight for the highest goal scorer and all that. But then for except Palace that could not even get a draw against Nottingham Forest, for a game that was widely predicted as a draw, because that was the last game for the Premier League. And you look at the matches from the first match to the match 9, the 9th game, there was no draw. So everybody felt, okay, since it's the last game, it's going to be a draw. But surprisingly, Crystal Palace was even struggling to get possession of ball. So to me, this is a very good, comfortable opportunity for
3 points for Spurs.
3 points.
Talking about Son, I think Son is one of those players that we should give his flowers, because he has been in the Premier League for a while. He's those kind of players that he came, he has seen, and for me, he has conquered. He has conquered, even though that Spurs as a team has not won much, but this is a guy that has up to 200 goals in the Premier League. I think he's just in his entire career. I think he's just in a wrong team, because there's a kind of team with this 300, with this 200 goals plus. He's an all-timer kind of player. So I think he's one of those players that whenever we talk about him, we give him his flowers. It's one thing to be good, but it's another thing to be consistently good. Game new every season. You're doing your best. The same thing that Salah is doing with Liverpool. Every season, it doesn't matter. In every new season, you're giving your best. You're scoring goals. Do you get? Son has been here and he's been scoring these goals. He's been contributing to the team. Everybody thought that immediately Kane left, that it's over for Son, and it's as if that he puts that pressure on his back, on himself. He's carrying it and he's doing well. He's the kind of player that I wish that he wins something with that Spurs team.
Okay, so let's quickly look at the next game that will be played this weekend, which is going to be between West Ham and Manchester United. What's your take on this game, Blaze?
Funny enough, it's going to be a tricky game, because Manchester United are coming back from a win. Yeah, they had that win against
Brentford.
That I said that if luckily for them, they might win that game. West Ham, on the other hand, they lost. They didn't just lose.
5-1.
They didn't just lose. They lost embarrassingly. And they kudos, the only player that I think in West Ham that has a fighting spirit got a red card. So going into this game, I think if Manchester United cannot win this sick or very bad West Ham. I wonder the team they will win. So for me, I'll go with the Manchester United win. Looking at, I watched that Manchester United second half. I'm like, is this the same crop of players that have been playing since the beginning of this season? Because it was as if it's a different kind of player. It was as if another spirit entered Rashford. Rashford was creating chances. What's his name? Bruno Fernandes was playing like he wants to win. Garnacho was playing like he's the next Ballon d'Or winner and all that. So if they can go into this game with the same mindset, I think they'll win the game. But if they go back to the Manchester United before the Brentford game, I'm sorry for them. But Ten Hag should be serious.
Yeah.
He's being a coach of Manchester United is like this. It's very, very shaky. So this is the kind of match that he should use it and gain the board's trust.
Yeah.
So Emmanuel, what do you have to say?
Yeah, I quite agree with Blaze because Man U surprised everybody last week.
Yeah.
We're not expecting Man U to pull out that win. We're expecting them
Looking at Brentford, they've been scoring first.
Scoring first. So I was thinking that game was going to end in draw. Surprisingly, second half, Man U came up and then maybe like we said in our preview, our last show, we said Ten Hag went to the dressing room and said, "Look, my job depends on this match, this man." And the second half, Man U now came up and with fire and all that. So for me, I think it's a comfortable win for Man U because West Ham right now, their most influential player or their best player so far will not be available. So why not? You have the wingers, you have the Rashford, you have the Garnacho, and you have the midfield, Bruno Fernandes. Come on, it should be a win for Man U. If Man U cannot win this game, forget it.
Well, what do you think about the injury problems Man U have? Because I think they are, especially in the person of Mount.
Yeah.
Mount is always in and out. I heard he has already gotten another injury.
Yeah.
Mino, their talented young midfielder, is also injured. I think they have two other players that are injured. Starting players that are injured. So it's what we should be looking at also. Even though that they're going to be playing a very sick West Ham, I think they're not going to be playing with their strength, with the first 11 that if you allow Ten Hag, you want to start them. So, but let's see. I think even though they're not playing with their strength, that
at least a 1-0 win.
Yes, get a 1-0 win.
Because 1-0 is 3 points.
It's 3 points, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so let's quickly go to the big game of the week.
The game of the week.
Big game of the week, which is going to be between Arsenal and Liverpool. And I'll be starting with you, my Arsenal fan. What are you expecting from this game? Do you expect Arsenal to win Liverpool?
You know, if you've been following my analysis since, I've not been emotional in my analysis, and I'm not also been biased. I've always been realistic. Since we started this show, and I think at this point I will still maintain my stand. Liverpool is not an easy team. I must say, Liverpool is not an easy team. Liverpool is a team that even if you're winning 1-0, you don't play what you did against Man City when you're going to play defensive. Even if you have a red card come on. Liverpool is a team that, look at what Chelsea did. Chelsea came out for Liverpool. They were playing with them, so Liverpool was not finding it easy. Imagine if Chelsea had gone back to play defensive, Liverpool would have actually hammered their score. And that's one problem Arsenal is having right now. Once they score, they go back. No, that's not how to play football. And if you try with Liverpool, I'm sorry, we are playing at home and we lost our last game against Bournemouth. So for me, I'm gonna hope on God in this match. I will not deny.
Today is a good day in the studio.
I know my fellow Arsenal fans watching this now will not be happy with me, but I have to be honest. Let us face the reality. Arteta should change the pattern of play. Change it. Play football. Stop playing a defensive football. It doesn't work in Premier League. It doesn't work. So for Liverpool, well, I just hope Arsenal will get a draw in that game because I don't see Arsenal winning Liverpool. I don't see Arsenal winning Liverpool. If you check our records, it's not been easy for Arsenal. It's either they get a draw or we lose the game. It's not been easy for us to win a Liverpool. It's not been easy for us. But then it's football. Anything can happen.
Exactly.
Please, what are you expecting out of
Of
this
course, the
game?
man's looking at me, he thinks that I'm coming from the place of banter. But the truth is that Liverpool is a team to beat. So far this season, they've conceded only 3 goals. I think, yes, just 3 goals. They're the best defense in the league. So if you want to win Liverpool, how do you want to win them when they've conceded and just 3 goals? How do you score them? And looking at the scoring options of Arsenal Football Club, The only person that I think that can create that magic from the wing is Saka, and he's injured. I intentionally watched Arsenal's Champions League game, and to be honest, I didn't see anything exceptional they did in that match. Their goal came from an own goal, even though it was a brilliant game of football play from Martinelli, but it was an own goal. Every other after the first half, it was as if Arsenal did not know what they were doing. I think the Odegaard problem is also affecting them. Their midfield, everybody in their midfield, there's nobody to give that creative pass. Again, everybody in their midfield is a holding midfielder. They want to hold the ball. Partey wants to hold the ball. And Moreno wants to hold the ball. Rice, the same thing. Nobody gives that creative pass like Odegaard does from the midfield. Do you get that? I was looking at Gabriel Jesus that replaced Saka from the wing. You can't take your man on. And who are they playing? Who did you play your last match against? You're playing a Shakhtar, and Gabriel Jesus for once did not take anybody on from that wing. He will want to dribble and they will take that ball. So I'm wondering if you cannot take a Shakhtar or Shaka defender on. It's not a Liverpool defender you want to take on. Do you get where I'm coming from? So this is not a place of banter. It's a place of reality, facts. I watched Havertz in that match. You know, the only thing about Havertz is that he's a fighter. You will see him fighting all through the match. But that match, he didn't. Nobody to create the chances. He was just running as if he doesn't have anything to do. And even what's his name? My best player in your team, the guy that always replaces Martinelli. He even started that match. What's his name again? Trossard. Yes, Alazan Trossard. He played that game, and I was not seeing anything he was doing in that game. For me, if Arsenal repeats what happened in that game against the Liverpool will not just be winning, they'll be winning well. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But the thing about Arsenal, if I talk about their bad side, I will also talk about their good side. The thing about Arsenal, the good thing about Arsenal is that they also have a good defense. You see that Saliba and Gabriel's pairing is a good defense. The problem is the only problem they'll be encountering is that they're going to play a team that know how to score. Can you be able to keep Salah quiet for 90 minutes? Do you get that? Nunes is there, Gakpo is there, Diaz is there. All these guys that are informed this season. Glebat or what's his name from the midfield has been doing exceptionally well this season. The only team so far Liverpool has lost to was Nottingham Forest, and we knew that is that kind of one-off kind of loss. So let's see. I think just like Emma said, they'll be so lucky if they get a draw from that game. But for me, it should be a game that Liverpool should win.
Okay, so this is where we'll be coming to the end of the show. And Blaze, Emmanuel, it is always nice to have you in the studio.
It's beautiful to be here again in the studio. My prayer, the highest prayer this weekend is that Arsenal loses again. They lost against Brentford, and I had the best weekend last weekend. So it would be good that they lose again this week, so that I'll have another good weekend.
But please, don't be surprised if they draw in that game.
It's possible.
Because Arsenal may actually come out to actually play that game.
Let's see with the squad you're going into. I think you will lose that game. But let's see. I'm saying my prayer is that you lose it. So it doesn't matter what you think. I pray that
because you're playing a weak team now. Because you're playing Newcastle. It's your luck this weekend. I congratulate you in advance. But next matches, next games, let's see how you survive.
Okay, just like we did last week. Quickly, Blaze, can you tell us the shock of the week game in this in these games that will be played within the weekend?
The shock of the week game. I'll go with Arsenal Liverpool. I think everybody will think it's a game that Liverpool should win. But it's possible that Arsenal comes up with a draw.
Okay. So, Emmanuel, which of those teams do you think will give you the shock of the week game?
Of course, it's my team, Arsenal. Okay. Arsenal will be written off everywhere this weekend. Yeah. If you check online, Arsenal will actually be written off. But don't be surprised. Arteta will come in with a tactical strategy that Arsenal may actually get a win or even a draw from that game.
Okay.
So let's see. But then it's going to be an interesting game to watch.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so viewers, thank you for always being part of our show. And if you're yet to subscribe to our channel, we are begging you, please
subscribe.
Click on the subscribe button, the like button, and also drop your thoughts on all the analysis we made. Commenting, drop it on the comment section. Thank you guys. See you guys in our next episode.